He said, flip it around, now you think it's around, now you think you slick. Because you think you cash, I think you trash. I still spank that ass. You ain't fucking with me. You wouldn't even rap like that if it wasn't for me. Wow. I been had my weight up. How you gonna battle me with a style that I made up? Wow. That's all niggas say is wow. I been had my weight up. How you gonna battle me with a style that I made up? Wow.
Hey, what's the deal?
Yeah.
Messiah the Great finally made it to the studio. You feel me? He done missed the show, but we gotta run it back.
Man, some things life be lifing, cuz, and life been lifing for me a little bit too much.
Man, life been life, and we got some music topics on the way. Yeah. We got some cold debates, man. Let's start with the first topic, because I was really sitting back listening to the old school golden days, the golden era, the mixtape era, shall I say, the early 2000s. I'm like, damn, who had the best punchlines of all time?
I can't even.
Either Cassidy, Llyod Banks, or Fab.
Because even then, if I go a little back even more, Big L was crazy with his shit with the Ebonics, with a lot of that shit. So I don't want to go that deep because the people might not, but it's like, damn. But out of them niggas, that shit was cold. That shit was cold. Because every time I come with a Cash freestyle, I can come with a Banks one. Every time I come with a Banks one, I can come with a Fab one. So it's like, fuck.
Because I'm really thinking line for line, Banks had some of the coldest freestyles back in the day on the mixtapes. I believe Fab, I feel Fab evolved the most with his style as far as like every generation he adapted, but still kept the crazy punchlines going. Whereas Banks switched his style up later on in his career where he really stopped using so many punchlines. I remember he said something like the reason he didn't like to could still rap with punchlines was nobody was tattooing them. And when he looked back at artists like Pac or Big, and he would see fans at a show, they would have their lyrics tatted on them. But he's like, who's going to tat a punchline? Because a lot of punchlines are current event based. So if you rap about something that happened last week, shit, by next week it's irrelevant, or next year it's irrelevant. Ain't nobody finna tattoo that for a lifetime. But if you say something deep and introspective, they could quote that for a lifetime.
Yeah, I think Banks fucked up doing that because I haven't heard that nigga say nothing deep yet. And I probably, because I'm not even on Banks no more, but I'm not Banks.
Never heard him say something deep as Chris.
I haven't. No, he said something deep that made my mind think when he was doing the punchline. He was a punchline king at a point. So I think that fucked him up. And I think Cass still does the punchlines, but regardless, when you have an accident the way he had, it's going to effectively fuck you up mentally, regardless, no matter how strong your mind tries to come back. So I think that Cass is not his downfall because he still does his thing in battle rap. I just think the Cassidy that we knew, maybe he did evolve too, but Cub was a cold nigga.
Because you got to think about it. People did punchlines not the way Cass did. Cass invented the back-to-back punchline. See, dude might say 4 bars, then say a punch. Say 6 bars and say a punch. No, Cass was punching back to back on a track. He invented a style.
He didn't name his shit bars for no reason.
He literally invented the style of what we see now, which is the new battle rap format of how they battle rap on stage. Cass birthed all that. Murder Mook, the Jordan of battle rap, looked up to Cass at one point, where he had to call out Cass to try to battle him, to try to attach his name to him. But Cass was already cast in. He been battle rapping.
Right. And now go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just think, and also I want people to understand the difference was that they was able to put punchlines in every pocket and still able to ride a beat. That's the difference I want people to understand. Like Fab knows how to ride a beat. Banks knew how to ride a beat and still put punchlines and metaphors and similes into shit. That was the coldest difference because they made you still bob to their music while they was gassing it. So I think that was a big key of why they was punchline kings.
Yeah, and the punches made sense with the song because, see, you got some people that are punchline rappers, but they just saying random shit and like it doesn't tie. That's the difference. When Cass punch, every line ties to each other. And they still doing multis in between and still rhyming syllables, rhyming 2-3 syllables for the whole verse while punching at the same time.
And I want y'all to understand, perfect shit. I sound too comfortable, man. Right so tight that I might pull a muscle in my hand. You can't still nursery rhyming. Dog, all my bars nuts like a Hershey with almonds.
Different.
That nigga was going crazy. And if you don't think that, you just don't know music.
And what's cold is you can listen to it now, and a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not impressed. You got to realize this was the first time ever hearing anybody rap like this or say the things they were saying. Now it's so normalized because everybody studied the format. And now everybody is mastering their own way to do it. But back in the early 2000s, nobody was rapping that way. You got to think about who was booming back then. Think about who was really running the game and how they rapped. And then when Cass hit the scene, I mean, though, whatever hood you was in, Cass mixtapes flooded your neighborhood and everybody. You heard that new freestyle? You heard that new freestyle? Then you had J Hood hit the scene. Matter of fact, J Hood might have. Damn, was he before Cass? Or was J Hood? Because J Hood, I want to say I was in 9th grade.
I don't know. I think they was all around the same time.
Around the same time.
Yeah, they was all around the same time.
So you had J Hood, he came out with the punches. Then you had J Mills, he came out with the punches. Then you had the Stack Bundles pop up on the scene. You had Shells pop up on the scene. He got the battle rapping. So everybody adapted that style. But if you want to really break it down, Cass invented it. So it's tough to not say Cass because how could you not? He invented it and he still can do it today. But the difference from now to back then, like you said, the accident fucked him up. To the point he said he forgot he was Cassidy. They had to play freestyles for him. They had to play DVDs like, bro, this is you.
He had to relearn
and he had to relearn himself. And to see where he at now, from seeing his last battle and the last couple of battles he did, shit, he came a long way. But I think that style, even the faces he used to have with the swag and the hat cock, he had the total package.
He was putting on for Philly. For sure he's putting on for Philly. Before a lot of niggas was putting on for Philly. And of course they're going to say Freeway, Beans and them, but Cass put on for Philly in a whole different way. But I wanted to, was Banks around the time Cass came out or was Cass before Banks?
Ooh, let me think about that.
Because Banks was out a minute when
Banks was out. The 1-3-4 All-Star mixtape.
Back to the Future and all that came out. 50 did all that shit.
But see, Cass was around before the mixtapes. Really, he was on the call-in show in Philly where he was battling niggas just on the radio.
Right.
And then he would drive up to New York, battle nigga who want smoke. Niggas turning it down. He killing your favorite rappers. And Joel Santana was talking about he remember Cass used to come up there or D and Y or X or have him pull up. Because, if you was a part of Rough Riders back then, you had to battle. Facts. Before you got on the song, you had to battle. So Drag On to be there battling. Whoever they thought was hot, nigga, we got Cass. That's how the Freeway battle happened. Jay-Z talking about, can't nobody fuck with my youngest. What? Cass. Eat him. Kill him. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, but Banks was tough, though. Niggas got to remember, Banks has some, what? What'd he say? I'm starving, nigga. Only one that could cut me and get away with it is my barber, nigga. Because my revolver, nigga, take a piece of your head. You have more room in your hat than a Harlem, nigga. And niggas know them Harlem niggas.
Most of these subliminal raps coming from them back same next
giving me daps. Bro, if you remember them Harlem niggas, they was wearing size 9 fitteds, nigga. And the real size was probably a 6.5. You really had
a space in your hat. Like my hat would have been like, your shit sitting way, like I can't even get
Go look at them early 2000 Dipset pics, nigga, with Cam, nigga, hat this big. You could put both arms in the hat. Nigga said, my revolver take a piece of your head. You have more room in your hat than a Harlem nigga.
He said if you don't learn to relax and swallow steam, he said,
it'd be more shells in the grass than Halloween. That whole freestyle he killed. Not even to mention the victory freestyle, because that's what really that's what really set him off. When he hit that victory freestyle,
even that Still Dre freestyle.
Oh, yeah. That was from the 1-3-4 All-Stars.
He said, I got 4 bars hotter than your SSB. He said, damn, what the fuck that nigga say? I can't remember.
Yeah, if I turn it on and I hear it, I know every word. That nigga, that whole mixtape he had, he dropped crazy freestyles. And there was a track, a DJ might have put it together, but I don't know if they was in the studio or not. I don't know if you remember. It was him and Fab. They went back-to-back verses, like 3 verses, just punching,
I remember
back-to-back. Banks was cold. I think Banks had better punches than Fab back then. I think Fab got it now.
Banks was like he crowned. In his mind he was the Punchline King.
PLK. He told niggas POK. But the reason it's tough to give it to him because Cass is battle tested. Cass is battle tested. And it's proven, it's documented.
What he said, I got 4 bars hotter than your SSB. He said, damn.
I love money, it'll probably be the death of me. He was spitting. That whole freestyle was the way he wrote that beat was crazy. Like I'm really trying to, I really want to play it, but YouTube's gonna flag it if we play the songs for copyright infringement. But just go back and think 2000, 2001, them early freestyles. I say overall, I gotta give it to Cass because he invented the style.
He said, who the fuck you trying to fool?
Us? I'll leave you with more bumps than the school bus.
It's gonna take the
riot squad to move us. Yeah, your niggas got guns, but do you bust? Too much.
Nigga,
tell the truth, you suck. Motherfuck classy, give me 2 sluts and a few cups. Hurry up, fill them up. You niggas for real or what? Hustlers, we deal them up. You couldn't kill a duck. That nigga was going crazy.
And y'all gotta understand that with the duck hunt and all that shit was in around that time. So it might sound crazy to y'all now, but them was bars back then. Like,
cause it was niggas with punches. Like Joe Budden had some of the craziest punches. Jay Mills had some of the craziest punches.
I think Joey punches was too deep for people. I think his shit was, unless you was a real MC like who studied the craft of music, you couldn't really appreciate Joe Budden music. That's why I feel like that last time we talked about it, niggas was trying to kill you, but Joey is
niggas
really...
slept on Joey. What he said?
Really, bar for bar, can fuck over niggas in verses.
So even when I'm doing current events, it's a sublime saying who's more current than him. So I'm wondering if a higher power's trying to underhand. When you shoot for the stars, sometimes you're gonna jam. I ain't learned from Summer Jam. I learned from, what'd he say? I ain't been to Summer Jam. I learned from, damn, it was a bar. I ain't been to Summer Jam. I learned from Lupe. When you dumb it down, it's just harder to understand. If y'all remember, Lupe had the song called Dumb It Down, but every bar was complex.
Yeah, and it was
the
deep,
title was called Dumb It Down, but he spit so complex you could barely understand anything. Like, bro, right. Joey has some shit, fool. Like, I ain't been to Summer Jam. I learned from Lupe. When you dumb it down, it's just harder to understand. Crazy. But out of Banks, Fab, and Cass, I got to give it to Cass. But as of right now, I give it to Fab. Because in 2025, Fab is still going crazy. Non-stop. He's still relevant. He's still making freestyles and music you can relate to right now.
Everything that Fab raps about, if he gives a topic like Selfish, he's spitting the whole, he's barring up and explaining why the Selfish makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like he still gives titles and makes and raps about what the title is. When you hear a song, you know they're going to rap about, Fab is going to rap about this. So I give it to Fab. Fab needs flowers. Niggas be sleep on Fabolous. I don't even know why. Maybe it's just us on the West Coast, but Fab is one of the greatest MCs to ever do it, in my opinion.
And I fuck with all 3 of them because all 3 of them, when they was making their singles, they still was utilizing the punches. No other rappers were doing that. Even the rappers who was rapping punches, once they started to make their singles, they went to the ABC nursery rhyme and shit. Cass, he still kept his punches. Banks still kept his punches. Fab kept his punches. So I respect them for that. But I say overall, Cass, in their prime, ooh, it's neck and neck, man. Banks was different.
He said, I put footprints in the couches. I put so much in my 2-step. Put on for my city. I ain't got no choice but 2 reps. Put straight shots in their hand. Make pretty girls do the ugly face. They just put my song on. Move back. I need Dougie space. Like, hey. Then when he say right back to my mugging face, nigga put the weed out. That nigga was gassy. BB
they had different flows.
Face. Yeah, they did. But that was a weak Fab I'm giving y'all. Like,
we talking about Punchline Fab, yeah. the Freddie versus Jason Fab, the freestyle Fab. It hit different. But he lasted the test of time to me. Banks, I haven't heard nothing new. Like, I really went back and tried to listen to some of his shit. I couldn't get with. I'm like, damn.
I can't get with Cut's voice.
His voice got fucked up too, right? Yeah. Something happened with his voice.
I didn't know his voice got. I just thought he changed up. I said, why Cut start rapping like that?
Because you know they used to clown him like he sounded like the Cookie Monster or some shit.
His voice. I never thought of that though. When you heard Banks on the track, you knew it was Cut.
Nah, for sure. Like, I know a lot of people probably like, why you don't throw Jada in there? Jada was more slick and witty. He wasn't really a back-to-back puncher.